Okay, here we go. Just coming. Here we go. Hello, or good afternoon. It is Sunday, the 15th of September, and I am in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea, and it's time for another unbagging because I came back yesterday from Owlbear and Wizard Staff, which takes place around the middle of September in the West Midlands town of Leamington Spa. And it's a very nice little convention, lots of friends, lots of good games, good company. Met some friends for breakfast, and then we had a couple of good games. So I played an X-Core Classics scenario in the morning, and that was a lot of fun. Followed by a game of Bridgetown in the afternoon, which was weird and wonderful and kind of wacky. And that was good. And then we did some socializing in the evening and chat with some friends and caught up. So this time around, I was able to take my fantastic bag of holding and fill it with good and interesting things. So I am going to unbag that for you this afternoon. So let's start front and work our way backwards. So the first thing that's going to come out is actually a book I was given back because I'd lent it out for the book club, which is Marcel Thoreau's Sorcerer of Pyongyang, an exploration of what happens when something like Dungeons and Dragons appears in a closed society like North Korea. And inside was this little postcard, a note from thanks from, excuse me, Dirk the Dice. So I'm going to put that up there where you can't read it, or you can read it because it's not glaring today, and continue the unbagging, as it were. So these are all things that I either bought or picked up with the intention, of course, of looking at and reviewing or even finding homes for some cases in the next few months. So we have The Crypt in the Cadaver Canyon by Mark Bishop for Purple Sorcerer Games. It's an adventure for Dungeon Core Classics. And the same again for the Frostfang Expedition. And these are very kind of, I think they're English little scenarios for Dungeon Core Classics. We have the very latest Kraken chapbooks, the Moon Files, which Moon Megcorp. This is a history of the company, basically the Reaching Moon Megcorp, who supported Traveller throughout the 90s and early noughties. And the thing is, the Kraken is an event which takes place a couple of times a year in a Schloss, about an hour's drive or so away from Berlin. I'm afraid, I think, I've always wanted to go, never got around to it. But again, it's a very convivial event which takes place over the course of the weekend. And it's been sort of like a particular home of players who play Call of Cthulhu, RuneQuest, Pendragon, and so on, sort of like fans of the role-playing games from Chaosium. So let's get back to the bag of holding. And the next thing out, just pull out is, surprisingly, it's a copy of Time Lords, which I didn't think I was going to be picking up at all. It was in the bring and buy, and it'll be obviously useful when I come to review it in a couple of years' time. Because I actually picked up a couple of the supplements and done an unboxing of those recently. Time Capsules 1. So there's essentially a bundle of those all together, ready to do sort of like a series of reviews. And this is a time travel role-playing game published by Blacksburg Tactical Research Center, in which essentially you play a variation upon yourself, going through time and trying to keep the timeline stable and safe for the time agency. So next we have a if I can grab this bundle. All of the issues of Weird Science, a British role-playing and gaming magazine, which I suspect I will want to find a good home for. These are good reads. really interesting and very enjoyable. Just looking at games and gaming culture in general, and generally in a way that we don't actually have, certainly not in the UK at the moment. I don't even know necessarily in the States, because we really don't have very much in the way of a good gaming magazine that you can go and find easily. Next, this is definitely in need of a good home. This is 13th Age Glorantha, published by Chaosium and Rob Reiner Games. It's sort of done via Pelgrane because it uses the 13th Age engine designed by Rob Heinsu and Jonathan Tweet. And there are several different variations of the RuneQuest role playing out there. You've got the RuneQuest role playing in Glorantha rules, which is really the full simulationist kind of rules. Then you have what was HeroQuest, but is going to become Quest Worlds, and that's designed for more narrative storytelling play. And then between them, you have 13th Age Glorantha, which is the more action-orientated, battle-focused, Saturday morning cartoon style of play. And I don't mean that demeaning. It's a lot of fun. You play some great characters, and you get some great action in there. And it's a really well done treatment of the setting. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot of support for it. There has just been a big supplement released free for it, which I actually want to dig into, or I want to nudge someone to try and run it for me. That'd be really great. But can't have everything. You never know. Let's see what's next in the. Is that everything in there? Yeah, that's everything in that pocket. That's next. This is so tightly packed, I'm having difficulty pulling things out, so I'm going to try and get hold of this thin book next. Okay, I have a copy of Predation. This is a Cypher System role-playing setting, published by Monty Cook Games. It's one I've been after for a while, but not been able to get hold of. Typically, by the time I go to Monty Cook Games here in the UK, they've sold out. It's not available. So now I've got a copy, and I would give it a review. The idea of you using and riding and facing down dinosaurs in an alternate apocalypse looks a lot of fun, and dinosaurs are fun. Okay, so next we have Mutant Year Zero Gen Lab Alpha. This is the second of the Mutant Year Zero setting books published by Free League Publishing. This one is very much out of print. I suspect there are people who are going to be wanting a copy of this. And this is the one where you have the mutant animals, many of whom actually do appear in the Mutant Year Zero computer game. It's very much an enclosed world setting, unlike Mutant Year Zero, where you've got a bit more expansive setting. But you essentially have a kind of very closed society as well, not wanting to go outside, follow the restrictions laid down. Sort of very much Animal Farm, if you will, but it's a good setting, set up for good adventures, like all of the Mutant Year Zero supplements and settings. Let's see if we've got anything. Yeah, next thing. Next thing is going to be a little bit weird. This is the Space Gamer Traveller Compendium. It's essentially, this is sort of mostly semi-illegal, I have to admit. It's not illegal. Essentially, it is somebody who has taken all of the content for Traveller from the Space Gamer. You can go to find places and download the magazines and so on, see it yourself, but actually you take it and he has bound it into a very nice book for easy reference. The only thing I would say with that is what's needed at the front is here's a list of everything in here, plus a list of where the source material is. And he's done several of these, and they're very kind of nice reference books for when you can't sort of go back into a magazine and look for things. It sort of saves time, especially if you're dealing with one particular role-playing game and so on. What next? I do have something in this pocket here. I'm going to come back to that because it's very special. and I'm very, very lucky to have it. So what have I got in the back? In the last big pocket is full of books. Still, now this is Nations and Canons Core Rules. Now this I didn't buy this yesterday. I picked up at Gen Con. I'm actually in the middle of reading this, so but I didn't get any chance to do any reading yesterday because A, I was in the car, or B, I was actually talking and so on. We have the Bone Hilt Sword, which is books 1 to 5, the Bone Hilt Sword campaign, or 5 standalone adventures for 4 to levels 1 to 4, 4 to 6 characters of experiences levels 1 to 7, and that's for Osric. But again, that's something you can easily take and adapt to the retro clone of your choice. Next up, the mini game. This is for Thulu, a 4-sided system for cosmic horror. A little kind of throwaway game. I'm gonna. This is a supplement for Vaesen, not generally available in hardback. It is available on the drive-through as a PDF, and it is free. But really, it's Spirits and Monsters of Mythic Ukraine, part of the Free League Workshop. The Free League Workshop is the community content program for Free League. This is one of the most in-demand books. It's a source book of monsters and creatures and ideas for exploring Ukraine. But it's the money's goes towards supporting Ukraine efforts, essentially supporting the war in terms of refugees and medical aid and that sort of thing. And this is another thing that was only available at the Kraken. Managed to bring some back. I want to thank Doctor Cowie for making that available, doing that for me. Did appreciate that very much. So I actually have a physical copy, so I can give it a proper unboxing and a proper review very soon, I hope. What next? So that, I think, is it. Yes, except this. This is incredibly special. And I absolutely want to thank Sam Vale for placing his trust in me, for lending me these folders, because they have a bit of a history. So back in the day, 40 years ago, Games Workshop published Judge Dredd, the role-playing game. Very well received, lots of good support for it. And Judge Dredd is a role-playing game that has essentially has been redone 3 times since in various forms. There was a D20 system variant, a Traveller variant, both of those from Mongoose Publishing. And then N Publishing did its own version using Woin, What's Old is New, supported with some absolutely fantastic source books. Sadly, there is no Judge Dredd role-playing game available now. Perhaps not as successful as the publisher or essentially or Rebellion would liked it to have been, which is sad, as it's a fantastic setting for role-playing in. But back in the day when Games Workshop had its own role-playing game, Judge Dredd, it also was exploring creating source material and other role-playing games based upon the properties in the pages of 2000 AD. One of those was Strontium Dog. Now, Strontium Dog is set in a future where mutants are reviled and ostracized, and as earlier in the story, persecuted. Most of them, or nearly all of them, have left Earth, and really the only way they can find work is as bounty hunters. So they have to carry the sort of like the double stigma of being a bounty hunter and being a mutant. And Strontium Dog, Johnny Alpha, is sort of the main character of the series and one of the best bounty hunters. So Games Workshop wanted to do a role-playing game based on that. Now, how did I know about that? I know about that because I was at Games Fair in 1986 and I played it. I played a demo game, and it was fun. It was a development of the Judge Dredd mechanics, and then Games Workshop decided to concentrate instead upon miniatures and wargaming, and out went the role playing. What happened to the Strontium proposed Strontium Dog role playing game? Out the window. But the files exist. I have them here. So this is so there's anything. Let's just see. If there's anything here which I can actually show you. Well, it doesn't look like it, but let's have a look. Just to confirm this, because it is all literally let's we are okay. This is the Game Master's book, and it's all dot matrix paper printouts like that, annotated and so on. These belong to Sam Vale, and really, he's being very generous in lending these to me. I did ask him to say, I would absolutely love. I mean, as much as I said, I would absolutely love the chance to review these because they're a piece of history. But again, the one thing about these is that they are. It's a lost game because it's never going to appear. It's a piece of history, and it's an odd thing to actually review. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to tell you very much about this if I do an unboxing. Certainly, if I do a proper review, I will. An unboxing, because there isn't very much to see, because it is just these folders, and it's very unwieldy, but it's an incredible piece of history. And perhaps, it actually ought to be, in the archives at Games Workshop, but Sam has got hold of, was given them, and they're a precious thing. And he does occasionally run the game, and I have played it, so literally I've played it twice, and that was fun to play. Anyway, so of course, I hope you've enjoyed this unbagging in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. Of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And penultimately, if you want to see me out here with other boxes, which I will unbox and chat about the contents to the best of my ability for roughly 10 minutes or so, typically a board game or role-playing game or scenario, or in this case, an unbagging from actually my bag of holding. Genuinely, actually, is like a proper bag of holding because there's so much space in it. Thanks to my partner. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below, and of course, it all will be accompanied by a nice cup of tea. Lastly, I want to thank Sam for lending me those folders and his trust in me. I absolutely got to look after those. Matthew Broome, Doctor Broome, for organising and running Owlbear and Wizard staff. It's a really big effort just for one person, but he really does a great job of it. Niamh, for providing transport and the company, and then both Julian and Debbie for running the games I was in, and also all the other players who were in those games that had made them a lot of fun. Absolutely, if you're in the UK, if you get a chance and find out about it, do investigate coming along to an event like Owlbear and Wizard Staff. Friendly lot. We like our gaming, and we like our chat, and we like having a lot of fun. In the meantime, thanks again for watching another Unbagging in the Nook. I will be back again soon with a normal unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.